Yeah.
All right, evening everybody. JD here, 701 Nation, episode 3, powered by Lauer Auto Repair and Double D, Double H Guns. Almost got that wrong for you, Daryl. So tonight, you guys hear me all right out there? Yeah,
I
we
can
got.
hear you.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good.
We
Tonight's
even
guest,
on full screen.
we got, we got, the Wanner boys, Art. We got Art and Brian out there in Dickinson. Art was the founder of the Wurst Shop, so we're going to be talking. We're going to pretty much stick with making deer sausage tonight, and pretty much everything that pertains to that. He's got a lot of good information for us. So we're going to pick his brain on that, and of course, we've got some questions for him. Get in the chats. We'll get to those, but let's start off. Art, you are the founder of the Wurst Shop. What year did you start that? And what made you decide to open a meat shop?
Well, if you want the real story,
Yes, sir.
a little bit of history to that. My job before the Wurst Shop was I worked for job service, and I did everything there. I took claims and did everything. I was the assistant manager. One day, an individual got upset with me because I denied his unemployment claim. And he made a comment to me that I never forgot. He said, you got a job. You got an income. You're taking away my income. You would never make it on the outside, ever.
Oh,
I took that as a personal challenge. When I retired, I decided I'm going to go on the outside and I'm going to make it. And I never heard from the guy again. He never complained or told me that I was doing something wrong. So it must have worked.
that's awesome. And what year was that you decided to open the shop?
That was
98.
98, 99, right in there. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, people in Bismarck talk about it all the time, and I said to some people, "You guys are coming on." Oh yeah, I love that place. I love that place. So yeah, and then what year did you retire from there? Because you don't own it anymore, right? Did you sell it to somebody, or was it somebody in the family you passed it on to? How'd that go?
Unfortunately, I got old, and so basically, that was a lot of work.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
So I retired from that, and I did sell it. Yes.
So yeah, sausage making. If somebody's never made sausage, it is a lot of work. You ever get to people? I got friends of mine. Hey, you think you could make me some? And I'm just like, no, I can't. You have no idea how much work's put in it.
I still get that all the time.
Yeah. All right, so let's and Brian, there's our pop-up buddy.
He keeps coming up. I don't know
if you're
who it is.
watching and you see either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, yeah, we don't know what that is. We don't know what that
Going
is.
right across my face. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
a moment or not.
somebody's probably playing games with you there, but we're like I said, we're gonna kind of stick to just the deer sausage thing here tonight, and if it's well received, for sure we're gonna have the guys back on, maybe talk some jerky, but we're gonna kind of stick with whatever deer, pork, sausage, whatever. So we're actually making it a week from today. We're gonna be making sausage here at my place. I mean, I think it's gonna be around 400 pounds, but so if somebody came into your shop, Art, and they said, why don't you make some deer sausage? What would be your ratio? What would you make it? Would you make it with deer and pork, or deer, pork, and beef, or what kind of meat? And what was your ratio on that?
It was usually a ratio of 60% venison, 40% pork. Some people preferred to go 70-30. Some were satisfied with 50-50. But the most common was 60-40.
60.
And what kind of pork was that you'd use then?
The only thing we used is the shoulder, the Boston butts, and we even trimmed some of the fat out of there. We preferred to have a good lean sausage, and that's what people wanted.
Yep. So I got a question real quick about and a lot of people asked me this too. They wanted me to ask you this. Why do they call pork shoulders Boston butt when it's not a butt?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer, unfortunately.
Okay. I thought I heard something once that pertained to like how they used to store them or something a long time ago, but I mean, when somebody makes sausage, that's usually I've made them with pork loins before sausage, and that was almost too lean for me, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, and I usually go 70-30. My dad goes 50-50. And again, another common question for you: do you think there's a difference between mule deer and white-tailed deer, the taste?
I didn't find a whole lot. We had to be careful when people came in. We wanted them to have it trimmed out,
Yep.
and if we got some from the Badlands, certain areas, you could get a little bit of a game taste there.
The white-tails and mule deer.
Both.
Yep.
If they came from that area.
Yep.
If a deer was in an area where there was alfalfa and whatever else, we never had that problem. That meat was good.
Yep, I
But
100% agree with you. I found the same thing. That was the same thing that I'd found with it. I've actually tested it with my buddies years ago who just swore up and down that they could tell the difference, and they couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with where you get them in the cycle of the rut too.
Yeah,
Obviously, they're more adrenaline towards the end of season, you know.
yeah. I've killed a few deer with my bow, and both of those have tasted the best tasting deer I've ever had.
Yep.
Actually, you know. But yeah, like you said, the alfalfa, they're eating alfalfa and they're not all hormoned up and rutted up and everything else.
Yeah.
I think that does make a big difference. So
The other key that people really need to be aware of, if a deer is run heavy before it's taken down, that meat is not as good.
really,
Don't run those deer until
okay.
they're exhausted. That meat is that's got
So
all the adrenaline or whatever is in there, but it's not as good a meat.
we got to our question here. Brandon George has got it. He said pork butt or Boston butt is named for the place it became popular, Boston, and the name of the barrels used to ship the meat in. Butts. A rain barrel is also known as a water butt. All right, thanks, Brandon. See, I thought I heard something that had something to do with the barrel. Appreciate that, Brandon. So I'll tell you what. Since we got into Brandon's, let's hit a few more of these comments here. Let's catch up on them real quick, guys. Josh Patterson, hey Josh, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you listening in tonight. Eric Newman, evening, buddy. Jordan Wanner, that's my dad and grandpa. Woohoo! So we got some listeners up. Where'd you say, Brian?
She's in Colorado, but we should have a little section of Alaska on the Kenai Peninsula. My sisters Julie and Audrey are both watching up there.
Awesome.
Or they're going to have to watch reruns. It all depends.
I appreciate that. Hey, and if you know anybody doesn't catch it live, Clay will have it turned into a podcast tomorrow, and you guys can listen to it on a podcast. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Troy Howard, howdy. Hey, Troy, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you. And then we got Brandon there. He said, "What's up, ladies and gents?" Let's see here. Who else we got? Oh, there you go. Julie Lauer Auto. Yes, we're here from Alaska. All right.
That's where they are.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm probably the first people who've listened from us. So we've had people from all the way to Alaska down to Georgia and Florida listening now in California. So, hey, we're going nationwide.
Jamie's kind of a big deal.
Oh, man. Josh said he's picking up his little ones in Killdeer. All right. That's great. Killdeer, great place. I love Killdeer, North Dakota. So, Art, okay, we got the meat part settled there. And so what, did you have a general seasoning mix that you would use, or did people tell you kind of what they wanted? Or did you give them a couple different options on that? Because I just buy the pre-mixed stuff. It's the Bournes. My cousin and her husband actually own Capital City Restaurant Supply. And I've kind of been using that here for the last 3 years, and it's working good for me. But what do you generally use just for like your general mix?
We used basically our original home recipe. The seasoning that we use for game is no different than the seasoning we use for the sausage that we sold.
Really?
That was well received. We used the same seasoning, and it went well.
So my dad does that. It's just like the Brecht families used it. Salt, pepper, and garlic. Like you got to cut the garlic up and press it and mix it in hot water. I think that's all that he really uses. Actually, he only puts a pack of Kier in it.
Yep.
But I mean, I'll tell you what, I tried that doing it with mine, and it's just kind of like trying to make your grandma's Fleischkekel or something. It just never works right. So I just kind of stick with the Born stuff. But I mean, do you remember? Do they still use your recipe there now, or do they use something else?
I don't know for sure. Some people said no, the recipe has changed and they're unhappy, and others are satisfied with it. So
Is it kind of like
can't really
Colonel?
tell you. I know they've experimented with
Is it
some
kind of like
variations.
Colonel Sanders, where you can't tell us what was in it?
I usually don't say.
Okay, we're not gonna.
exactly
No, we're not
what
gonna.
they use. Yep.
We're not gonna.
It's
So
pretty basic though.
Yeah.
kind of like what I was just saying to my dad. Yeah, it's yeah. So it like so putting water in your meat when you get your, let's say you got your seasonings. What do you recommend for putting water? Because I know if you get too much water in and it doesn't stuff where the crap, and if you try and hang it and smoke it, a lot of people even get too much in and the meat will fall, which happened to me before, unfortunately.
Yep.
I was like, man, this is easy stuff, and keep putting water in.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of water. When we make it, I emphasize the fact that we need to use fresh garlic. Now, the way we prepared the garlic, we threw the cloves in a blender, put some water in, ran the blender, strained it out, and that was the water that we
It's
used.
the only water.
If that was just about enough. If it was real heavy consistency to where it wouldn't stuff properly, then we'd add a little more water. But
Yeah.
it doesn't take that much.
We did
Yeah.
change though a little bit. We always used to stuff through that grinder.
Yep.
And I actually last year I bought an electric stuffer. And there you need to have a little bit of moisture, otherwise it sticks in the stuffer.
Right.
And we found that if you put the garlic water in there right away and then you get it into the stuffer, it's good. If it sits for any amount of time and you start losing some of that water,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a lot. You probably had that happen to you. The back.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we first started doing, me and my buddies all our own, and then hey, let's just leave it set overnight and we'll stuff it in the morning. Yeah, that was
that
a
don't
bad
work.
idea. Yeah. So now when we do it, yeah, we try to get everything ground and seasoned and stuffed, and then we'll leave it. Obviously, I'm not gonna stay up all night because I'm usually the only guy smoking it. So I
Yeah.
get a little something smoked Friday, and then Saturday is usually smoke day for us. But yeah.
And that's something that we've gone back to too. Now that we're doing it at the farm again, instead of at the shop, we went back to doing everything cold smoked in the old smokehouse. We don't do anything. The only thing I do heat smoked is that's how we finish our summer sausage now. I do that actually on my pellet grill.
Yeah.
I could put 8 or 9 sticks in there, and then I finish those there. To where the country style sausage is all done cold smoked with there's no heat to it.
So do you guys how much do you mix at one time? Because I've noticed too, if I mix, like, it seems to me, if I just do, like, I get big tubs and I only want to mix like 25 pounds at a time to season that, 50 maybe I'll do 50, but then I'm fighting the mixer I got the big, we got the drill with the big end on there that we got, and but I think it seems to me it tastes better mixed in smaller batches. Maybe that's just me, but what's your guys' experience with that?
The key to any sausage is to make darn sure it's mixed thoroughly. That's it. Growing up, that's what my folks always emphasized. Make sure it is mixed thoroughly, and that's what it's going to take. If you use bigger batches and you have a small container or whatever, it's going to be harder to get a good thorough mix, and that's got to be your rule of thumb.
Yep. Okay.
It's a lot of this and a lot of this. That's
you
how we
see,
mix it.
like I said, we got the drill with the big mix. My dad don't want nothing to do with that. He wants to get in there with his hands. He can't.
I still think you get the best mix that way by rolling it around like that. And
you get that from the outside and push it in the middle and smash it and over and.
When my grandpa was butchering, you got a little Copenhagen in there that helped it out too. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So when you get your mix in there, how long do you let it set before you make a patio? Do you give it a little sample fry? You got to kind of let it sit, you think, and or do you just mix it and then throw it in there and give her a go right away?
one of the little keys, one of the little tricks that work beautifully is when you put in your garlic water, have nice warm water.
Yep.
Because that meat is cold.
Yeah.
And that little
for sure.
warm water really makes it much more conducive to mixing.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's all about. Once that's mixed, you can go ahead and make your test patty or whatever you want to do.
See, and we always do it where we'll put the seasoning in. We'll grind it coarse with a coarse sieve the first time, and then we'll put a finer sieve in. And then after we've mixed everything together, we grind it one more time. And that gives you a little bit of insurance. You got everything mixed in there.
Right.
And,
right.
you know, especially Dad doesn't like them, but I like mustard seeds in my sausage. So when you put them in there, if you don't get those spread through, you get piles of mustard seeds.
My buddy Wyatt's a huge mustard seed fan, and my buddy Roy there. Well, so we'll hit a few more comments here, guys, and we'll we got Dyer Van Dever, Dyer from Alaska as well.
Yep.
All right, awesome.
That's my sister's boyfriend.
Okay. We got my Uncle Dean here from Golden Valley. He said we usually mix 100 pounds by hand, and my Uncle Dean uses the same recipe as my dad does. It's my grandpa's recipe, and he probably got it from his dad. Awesome sausage. I love it. For whatever reason, I can't master it. But so Troy says, how long do you cold smoke your sausage? We do about 30 minutes just to add flavor.
It depends. I've actually smoked it. I've smoked some of it up to 8 hours, and then I've smoked some for just a couple hours, depending on what it is. It's now when we used to not have the cure like you do now, you had to smoke them a little longer to get the pink all the way through. Now that little 2 ounces of cure or whatever you put in there, that makes everything red all the way through. So your smoking process goes quicker.
I think that adds some flavor to it.
Yep. And it's a matter of how much flavor you want. You know, some people want a little more smoke flavor and others don't. It's basically, for me, it's more for the color.
So I definitely have something about smoke I got to ask you guys later in the show here. But Mama Joe says mixing with your hands is a good manicure.
Yeah.
Troy wants to know if it's long cut or fine cut Copenhagen.
Yeah, it was fine cut back then.
There you go. You just think it was pepper, right? Yeah, it was all fine cut back then. Gene Cox, you made it. Thanks, Gene. Appreciate that. Good to have you on the show. And he's a meat inspector. Yeah, he's a meat inspector, actually, I think, right? That's what Scott.
Yep,
Scott
I believe so. The mayor of Mulbridge.
Dougie Wolf says, are mustard seeds for flavor, texture, or to tell if it's mixed properly?
Dad says there's no flavor in them. That's why he doesn't use them. I think it's just it's eye pleasing to see mustard seeds in there. I don't know if they really throw a flavor in or not. I don't have any issues with my teeth, so I don't get them stuck there. So I don't know. I mean, it'll definitely tell you if you've mixed it, though. Like you said, that's probably a good point.
What do you think?
It really doesn't matter. I've made with mustard seed without flavor wise, and that really no difference. No difference. That's all people's preference.
Yeah, I think if somebody had it and then they were a kid and they just maybe it reminds them of some. I can take it with or without. I don't put it in mine, but if somebody gives me sausage or summer sausage and it's in there, doesn't bother me. I mean, if it tastes good, it tastes good to me.
That slice of summer sausage looks really nice though when you see pepper and mustard seeds in there.
I agree with that.
It's a selling point.
Right. So Josh says, do you put? I got to go back up here. Do you put cute in bulk sausage? I don't know what cute is.
Cure. I think he means cure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cure. I do. What do you do? What's your recommendation?
Do now. Yeah. We found over the years that it obviously helps it keep a lot better too. You know, years ago we struggled with trying to get things to keep before we all had vacuum sealers and stuff like that. You know,
I think I remember
sausage in water. We did all kinds of things. You know,
when my grandma, I remember you'd get it, and then she'd put it in like old bread bags, and then you'd wrap it in the white butcher's paper. And now everybody's got a vacuum sealer, and I mean, but them things are great. I love that.
Well, there was you were talking about canned sausage on one of these things. I have an aunt that still does. She cans sausage.
Love it.
And it's good, you know, and that was just another way to keep things keeping.
What my folks did at home is they collected the half-gallon milk cartons.
Yeah.
And they'd put that sausage in there and fill it up with water, throw it in the freezer. And that would keep perfectly.
They
just like
and it was nice to stack.
Just like what people do fish now, walleye fillets or northern or whatever, and just freeze them in
When
the
I was a
bags.
kid, my mom used to get on Tradio or whatever, and she'd be looking for milk cartons all the time when we were getting ready to butcher.
Yeah.
And we'd have these garbage bags full of milk cartons, and we had to wash them, and that's how we kept the sausage.
I got them in my garage, but they're usually for doing shooting videos.
Yeah.
So we'll hit a few more comments here, guys, and we'll go to our first commercial here. Mama Joe's, Julie Wanner Auto. I'm sorry. Mustard seeds are great for texture. Doesn't add much flavor though. Yeah. Texture and appealing to your eye. I'd agree. Yeah, Josh did say that's key. You were right. Jason Semerad, couple of pros you have right there. Making sausage in a couple weeks again, and we'll be making barley sausage again. Uncle Art's recipe can't be beat.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's my cousin. They're over in Minnesota.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, Jason. That's awesome. We got Jason Olheiser said mustard seeds are a must. My
That's
buddy.
another-
Individual preference, Jason.
Yeah.
Individual preference.
Yeah. Josh likes canned sauce. He said really good. Rich Johnner. Hey, Rich, how you doing, buddy? He said we did the half-gallon milk cartons when we were kids. Great memories. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you there. So let's all right, guys, we're gonna do our first commercial here. I'm gonna see what Clay's got these. We might have to just go a single, and yeah, that's what we're gonna have to. So we're gonna do two of them here. We'll do a double here right off the bat. So hang in there. We'll be right back here in about 2 minutes.
Okay. So
Yep, my bad. I played the wrong one there. Boy, sorry.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right, everybody, we are back. And of course, if you go do some business with our sponsors, make sure you tell them that you heard it on Guns in the 701 or 701 Nation. You appreciate that they sponsor our podcast and live stream because it makes it a lot easier for us to do. All right, guys. So I'm gonna just get caught up on some comments here again, and then I got a few more questions. So Gene Cox, the word sausage is Latin for what are we going to do with the stuff no one wants? Probably. Oh, there's definitely some truth to that from way back when, I would guess. So Troy Howard says, Lauer Auto Repair, great shop. I'd recommend them to anybody. Thanks, Troy. And in case you missed that on the Double H commercial, Troy was on there for a split second. So he's famous on the commercial. So,
Yeah.
All right, back to my next question for you, because I'm changing something this year. My friends just made 600 pounds of sausage, and I commented that the casings were a little different, and I kind of liked them, and they were collagen casings, they said, which I got, and I asked them if they had to smoke it longer or something with them, and they said nope, didn't have to get them wet, nothing. They loaded them right on the right on the barrel of the stuffer, dry, and shot them out. And man, I did end up ordering some through the person they got them from, and I'm looking forward to using them because those things were awesome. I don't know what's your experience with those, Art.
We used a lot of the collagen casings. Use them all the time at the Wurst Shop. They were handy.
There any negatives to them? You
Work
think?
great. No problems with them.
Yeah,
That's what they use for Slim Jims and things like that.
Yep. I've made them sticks once or twice, and I remembered and I thought, man, this is great. I like because I usually get the guys stuck rinsing out the casings, and everybody hated it, and I'm like, well, it's got to be done. Somebody's got to do it. So yeah, we're gonna use those, and I'll have to tell everybody how it turned out. But my boss and his brother, lifelong friends of mine as well, but they used them and got me, and those things were great. I'm looking forward to doing that and taking up some time. So
Doing it at home though, we're still using natural casings at home all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Other than for the country style sausage.
Okay.
Just got to soak them a little bit and deal with the knots in them and whatever else you got.
Yeah. So when you do
Get the
that,
salt rinsed out of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, put it on the spigot and then run the water through and
Exactly.
Yep.
So how long? I know everybody says they keep long. How long do you think those keep? Like a year or 2 years? Like the natural casings, just when the ones you don't use, do you soak them in salt and reseal them and put them in your freezer, or what do you do with those?
That's what I do. If we have some left over, put them in salt water, throw them in the freezer.
We haven't even covered them sometimes. They're just in a dish with the water in them.
Really? Okay.
And you pull them out the next year and you soak them up again and wash the salt out. And we did have the one year we had some of them. We had a few more burstings, just because you get a little pressure spike, and we bursted a few, but for the most part we didn't have any issues. Some of them got a little brittle, but.
So what did you think, Art, about the collagen ones for like bursts or tears or anything compared to the natural casings?
Never had any problems with the collagen casings.
Yep. That's what these guys.
They're the clear thing, especially like Slim Jims that are small diameter.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
Yep. Awesome. That's great. So now, if you're going to smoke it, like I said, we'll do it and then wait till the next day. Do you think it matters how long you let your meat sit before you smoke it, or what was your deal on that?
We can keep it. You can keep it overnight if you keep it cool, but you don't really need to. Once it's stuffed, it can go in the smoker almost immediately, and give it a few hours, and you're good to go.
So a lot of people say, put it in there and warm your smoker up, warm the meat up first, and then smoke it. What do you? I never do. I put it in there and start getting the smoke going right away, and I can't tell the difference.
No, we never worried about preheating or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do, is a couple hours of smoke on yours.
That's what I do with the cold smoke now. I usually do between 2 and 4 is what I do, depending on.
Hey, you got a thumbs up for that, Brian.
Depends what kind of flavor you want in that. A minimum to me would be at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maximum would be about 5.
I'm definitely a 2-hour smoke guy in my smoker, I think.
Are you smoking with heat, Jamie?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. See, our old smokehouse is it's kind of unique. So the firebox is down the hill actually, and then it's piped up to where it's only smoke that goes up into the smokehouse itself. So it's a real small fire. Yep. So it's a real small fire, and then it's got a chimney on the top and one on the side. My grandpa actually built it, and it's got one on the side between him and my Uncle Victor anyways.
There's a lot of them smoke
just like a chimney, it's pulling that smoke through there.
Yeah.
It'll smoke like crazy, but
yeah,
no heat,
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people are kind of going to that smoke box. I know you can buy them. A friend of mine bought like a little. It's just like a little capsule. Oh, it's about like this, actually, like my Lauer tumbler here. And I think there's a little heat on the bottom, and he I was like, "There's no way that's going to work," and it did. He brought his sausage, and he said it worked great. And you actually just used the pellets in there. And did you use pellets, Art, or did you use like just real wood that you cut up, or you bought like big wood chips from somebody, or how'd you do that?
At the shop, we used the wood chips. We like the apple flavor, hickory. So a lot of the fruit flavors are real good in sausage.
Yep. See, I buy the apple, and what my dad does and my uncle on the farm, I think they just go around and get the the choke cherries.
Yep, we
Mhm.
used to do that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's man, that works. I actually used ash before too, which worked pretty good too. It's not as good as as like you say the cherry wood is, but
Yep.
it's
That'll
still
work for the people out there that are doing it at home. One thing that you want to avoid is don't stick in anything that's got some paint on it.
Yeah, we had to
And-
mess with that.
Avoid the particle board type things.
Yeah.
With glue in them or so
no,
on.
no paint and no glue.
Don't do any of that stuff. That'll ruin it.
So when you did it, did you soak your wood chips too, or just put them in dry? Because in my smoke pan, I just put them in dry actually, and I get the hand torch, I get them going, and I put a cover over that and kind of snuff the fire out, and it because a lot of people, you got to get them wet and then let it smolder. And my one
It
buddy,
doesn't- yeah.
yeah, Marty Beard told me, he's like, you're just making it take longer. He goes, just light them up.
I actually now in the cold smoker I use the pellets. So I start a real small fire there, and it's usually a hot fire. I'll take a like a wood pellet, the shipping pellet, and I'll cut the squares out of them. So I've got a little box in there, and I'll get a little fire started in there with twigs, and then I douse it with the wood pellets. And I'll usually use like a competition blend or whatever that's got some apple in it, some cherry, and then those are hardwood pellets.
Yeah.
And then that smolders that fire out. And then about the time they start on fire again, I need to add a little bit more, and it smolders that fire, and it just keeps that smoke rolling.
Perfect. All right, I got a few comments here we're going to catch up on. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to ask you this one, but we'll get to it after I read it. But Doug said blood sausage recipe, so we'll definitely get to that one. Troy Howard said I used for the first time a few weeks ago, and they were great. I think he's referring to the collagen casings actually. Julie Lauer Auto. Audrey's watching on her TV from Kenai, AK. But cannot comment, but she's watching. Okay. Awesome. I love it, man. That is awesome. Hey, everybody's everywhere, right? And we're all together in one place anyways, talking about sausage. That's great. I like a lot of the stuff from the good new times. I like the good old days too, but a lot of the good new day stuff. So Gene Cox, he said, I'm here late, but where is the meat shop located? So it's in Dickinson, guys, but I'm not familiar with Dickinson too much. I usually just drove through there on the way to skiing or Medora. So why don't you tell everybody where it's at?
The middle exit of Dickinson is 61. If you take exit 61, you go north just right there, half a block, and take that first right. And you'll go right down past Simonson's and Arby's, and it's right in behind there. You could see the sign from the interstate.
I do know where that is actually, because my kids played some sports there too actually. So I like Dickinson. I think Dickinson's a great town. Don't get me wrong, but all right. Jordan Wanner says, I remember Grandpa giving me some Slim Jims when I was younger. So good! Exclamation point. Jody Sackman, we used cedar logs when we were young. Actually, Marty Beard told me that too, that he does that, cedar and diamond willow. I've never done that, but hey, whatever.
Those old triangle fence posts.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Brian. Because they use them, right? Because the bugs wouldn't eat them up, right?
Yep. And they're always dry.
Yeah.
Of course, they're a little aromatic too when it goes, so that's always good.
Right. So when you take out your sausage out of the smoker, how long do you let it cool? Do you let it sit there for an hour, cold weather? Or what do you do? Do you immediately package it up? I got a big table and we take it out of my smoker and we lay everything out on the table on some cardboard and come out and kind of feel it until it gets fairly almost cold, really.
Just so it's cool. You don't want to pack it when it's warm yet. Make sure it's cool.
I don't want to go down a different trail, but real quick, Art, if you're making summer sausage, do you drop that in a big water tub? Because a lot of people told me to do that when you smoke it, so the
stop it from cooking.
Okay,
you want to stop it from cooking because when you're going to your 151 degrees or whatever in the center, right? So once you get to that point, you got to stop it from cooking. So a water bath stops that.
Okay.
You don't want to keep going. Your fats start breaking down and your sausage dries out.
Okay. Well, hey, it's good to know. I didn't know that. I did when I did make summer sausage. I did put it in the big tubs, and everything seemed to work good. Lynette Case is totally Dickinson. I was born there. That's what everybody called it.
Thumbs up.
everybody in Halliday calls it that, Dickinson or Dickeyville. A lot of people
Yeah.
call it Dickeyville too. So I actually lived there when I was. I mean, I don't remember with my mom when I was very young, but that was. Anyway, so we're getting, so we're getting into. We kind of talked about it a little bit before, but storing it. You guys are all about using the vacuum sealers now, or do you still kind of do it the old way? Like you said, you store it in the ice. Is that in the cartons? That's your main deal, or do you use the vacuum sealers as well?
We vacuum seal everything.
Most of the
now.
time now, we vacuum seal it. It extends the lifespan
Yeah,
big time.
yeah. I agree. Gene Cox says, "Do you guys make a ring bologna or Polish sausage?"
I did at the shop. Absolutely. Made ring bologna. Yep.
We
Oh,
actually make an old family recipe bologna in a 3-inch summer sausage casing. That's
Perfect.
he never even sold that at the shop. That's our deal. We always
That's some good sandwich making right there.
Yep.
So when I cook my sausage up, the ring deer sausage, whatever you want to call it, I personally think it always tastes better to boil it. I mean, what's your guys's? How do you guys like to prepare your sausage? Because I love boiling. It's my main way to do it. I love it that way the best.
I don't actually boil it. It's actually just cooked more in hot water. I don't.
Okay.
I leave the heat real low, and I'll go for about 20 minutes, a half hour on it, and then that's how I like to eat it. It's the juiciest.
Okay. Is that what you do, Art? How do you like to make yours?
If you can, if you get the water to, it's just about boiling. 13 minutes, and it should be ready to go.
Okay. But maybe I've been overcooking mine, and I want get that sucker boiling there, and then I got to flip it over and
by 13 minutes or so, it's pretty well done.
You know what? I've also, maybe you guys notice this too. If I make it, I like to turn it off and then just kind of let it sit in that water for about 10, 15 more minutes. I think it tastes better when you do that.
Yeah, we do that too.
You guys do that too? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's yeah. I mean, I like we were talking about canning. I definitely like that. When my grandma was alive, and I'd bring some up to her and her friends, they always liked it. They always said, because they had dentures or whatever, they said they could chew it up really easy.
Well, I hadn't had it for quite a few years, and 2 or 3 years ago, my uncle came over and butchered with us when we were butchering, and then my aunt always put it up that way, and I hadn't had it like that since I was a kid when she made it, and he brought a jar over, and it was. Kind of takes you back to your childhood.
So do you guys leave some out for just like, I don't know, what do you call it, patty sausage or fry sausage? You like to do that too? Does it taste just as good, you think? Use your recipe, you stuff it with, or do you got a different spice you put in there when you just make the whatever Jimmy Dean style?
Same spice.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back. I remember my dad making sausage at home. And my dad, for some reason, was the designated taster. We usually had about 3-4 uncles that got together, and that's what we made sausage. And my dad was the only one that seasoned it. And so he was the taster, and then he'd make a little patty, and we'd run it up and throw it in the pan and taste it, and then decide if it needed a little more salt or whatever it did. And that's the way we always did it. So.
Yeah,
it's always nice to do that. It brings back memories more than anything. But little sausage now, first thing we do is make a little patty and see what it tastes like.
Well, usually if we got some frying up by the time the kids get home from school and they're in the garage, and then oh man, they take it and they come back down. Can you fry some more up? Can you fry some more up? So yeah.
We've started taking a lot now, and instead of stuffing it into casings, we'll just hand patty little patties and put them 2 packages into or 2 of them into a package and vacuum seal them that way in a small bag. Dad and Char, they like them that way because it's a lot smaller. They're not feeding a whole crew anymore, so they got 2 patties in there and away they go.
That's handy, very handy to do that. And vacuum seal, they keep forever. I mean, a year or more down the road, and they're still just as good as fresh.
Yeah. See, and all the patty stuff, I actually I can either fry that or grill it to me, and that tastes just as good either way on that one. So.
Yep.
But all right, we got my Uncle Dean here. He said Capital City Restaurant Supply in Bismarck has the collagen casings. All right, awesome. I didn't know that. I was up there today though and patronized Capital City. I've seen the big, huge American flag flying up above it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gene Cox, a good sausage kitchen has an electric skillet in the corner. It's a rule.
Yep. That's how it works.
That is true. That is true, Gene. All right, so we're at 7:40 here, guys. We're gonna do another commercial break here. We're gonna do a single on this one, so it's about a minute, and then we'll be back here in short order. I'll make sure I hit the right one this time. So.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Right on, and like I said, make sure you, if you patronize our sponsor, do some business with them. Thank them for sponsoring the show, because we appreciate our sponsors, and we're always looking for more. Doug Wolf, thanks, Troy. He's responding to Troy saying Doug's got a great shop there, him and the guys, and Doug he's a great mechanic. Does a lot of work for me, and everything's always been good. So. Travis George, Lauer Auto Repair, no BS shop. Doug's a great guy. Patronize him in the last few days and will again soon. Appreciate that, Trav. Travis, good friend of mine, owns D&J equipment, puts in lifts and air compressors and whatnot. 701Nation could definitely use a sponsor like that. Just kidding, Trav. Trav will be up next Friday making sausage with us too. So, all right, guys. So. I was thinking about that. Do you guys, when you made sausage, Art, did people like the cheese in there or not? Because to me, that's kind of a 50-50 thing. I definitely prefer it without, and some people actually just hate it with cheese in there. So what do you ever come across with people with cheese?
In country style, we didn't put cheese in. That went into Slim Jims or something like that there, or brats, or they would prefer some of that, but.
Yep.
Yeah, country style, we really didn't put anything in, and summer sausage as well. Cheese wasn't a real good thing in summer sausage either.
I agree. I've tried that in summer sausage, and some friends of mine make it, and it's good, but it's without it in, it's really good.
That's right.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just maybe the texture of it I don't like. Even when you cook it with cheese in it, almost like it leaves space in there when you cut it, and I like everything packed in there real good.
Well, that's half the battle, is making sure your casings are tight, because that makes it makes it cook better. It makes the flavor what it needs to be. That's
when people get that, a gal, I'm friends with her husband, and they just made sausage, and that happened. They had like the air pot, it wasn't packed in there real good, and I mean, what makes that happen?
You just get a space in your stuffer, and you're not holding your. Was that in summer sausage or?
No, I always say ring sausage.
Yep.
Country style.
But it's the same thing. You get an air pocket when you're stuffing, either if they're stuffing through a grinder or in your stuffer, you get a void in there. Mm-hmm. Well, then it comes into the casing, and that void just stays there all the way through.
I mean, that is where your water plays a factor.
Yeah, just that little bit.
If you don't have the right mixture for water, it's going to.
And that's what happened to me. I think I got pissed because it wasn't stuffing; it was too dry, and then I overdid it with the water, and I was like, we're getting.
Then it went the other way.
And sometimes too, a lot of people will tie that end on their casing when they started on the sausage, and sometimes or started on the cone for stuffing.
Yep.
And sometimes if you just pinch that with your finger and leave that open, then a lot of that air can kind of work its way through with the water will carry it through. If you tie it, you got everything locked in there, you know. I like to tie them better when they're done, you know.
Yeah, I got you there. So we got Doug Wolf said, thanks, Travis. Travis said, you ever tried dehydrated potatoes? Because Travis and I have actually done hash brown sausage with that in there, and people seem to love that. I just we bought the dehydrated ones. I guess we don't have a specific amount we
You
put
guys
in there.
never made that, did you? I've had it. They never made it up at the shop, but it's really good stuff. I like it in the sausage.
I know I worked with the guy, and then he was from Green River, I think, and then he'd bring back potato. I thought he called it potato sausage from there, and it was really good. But I mean, is that like actual cubes of potatoes in, or I guess I can't really remember. It was good. I know that.
I think it is those dehydrated ones, and then basically when you boil your sausage, it kind of cooks everything up. You know.
How about the sauerkraut sausage? I'm a huge fan of the sauerkraut sausage. How about that? Did you make that, Art?
I liked it when you made it. We never made it at home, but they made it at the shop. I do, or in brats especially.
Yeah, brats. Yeah.
So when you made it, did you drain the juice out of the kraut, or did you put the juice with the kraut in the sausage and then not use as much water?
That's pretty well drained.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I found. You know, some guy at work made some, and we kind of figured out with each other that draining that is the way to go.
That's the way to go. Because
I put the juice in it one time. I love sauerkraut, but it was almost too
overpowered it.
Yeah. Well, there my uncle says right there. I have to hit up Capital City Restaurant Supply for a sponsorship. Doug Wolf wants to know: does cheesy sausage take longer to smoke?
I've never smoked it. We've never made it at home, so I don't know.
Every time I've ever smoked it, I just did it the same, and it seemed
it isn't, and nothing really there.
It's high temp, so it shouldn't really change anything as far as that goes, because it's not really going to take the heat. It's more of a void in sausage than anything.
I would say this: if you're using cheese, it definitely seems to add a little more salt flavor. So if you're going to add your own salt, be careful with, in my opinion, be careful with that, because it will get a little salty on you if you.
I agree with that.
Yep. Cheese is by nature salty.
At the shop, we used a high temp cheese that we bought specifically for that purpose.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't run.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When you got her. There you go, Kathleen Weber here from Florida. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. Hey, great, thank you. Appreciate you clicking in. Brandon George, got to go, guys. Have a good night. You too, Brandon. Thanks for clicking in, buddy. Gene Cox, an old German sausage guy here, told me to put water in the mix, makes it softer to the bite. So what he's saying is dump your spices in your water and mix it up, kind of like you were saying to do with the garlic. Is that what he's saying here? I think
we never put water into the seasonings. No.
So you season the meat and the water.
Garlic.
They were
separate. Garlic water. That's all we use.
Okay, because I got to admit, not for any reason, I guess, because it says it on the bag to mix it. But yeah, before I use the premix, I would actually put it in and then the water separate with so yeah, maybe that is the way to go. Julie Lauer Auto, gotta have sauerkraut with sausage. Yeah, I like that. On the side, she says. I like it in there. My buddy Tyson Schwab, the first guy that was on 701 Nation, he said, great episode tonight, guys. Butchering in the morning. He is. He's got. He sent me a picture tonight. He's got the Tika. You're gonna go take out the. I don't know what he's killing a steer probably, I guess, but I know they always get a big one going there, so they're gonna do that. And he says he's gonna be butchering for the next 2-3 days. Gene, no, add water to the sausage. All right, Gene, that's pretty much what we were saying, guys, right? Put the spice in and then add the water. So yeah, for sure.
Garlic water, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
So I know you don't want to give your recipe out, but just some people overdo it with the garlic. I'm just curious. Let's just say you're making 25 pounds. How much garlic, like how many bulbs did you put in there?
That was kind of individual preference. We kind of weighed it out on the scale when I did it at the shop. We used a couple of ounces of garlic per 100 pounds.
I think my dad actually weighs his too, and not like I use a measuring cup. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong, right? I should weigh it instead of instead of putting it in the cup and then shaking it around and settling it, and it's more than, you know.
Either way,
at home, we just threw, my mother
Handful.
threw a handful into a quart jar, and put water in and let it sit for the day until we were ready to use it, and then we used it.
Yeah.
But we found using a blender is a perfect solution.
you get a lot more flavor out of it.
You can control the water, you blend it up, and then just drain the settlings out, and all the water goes in, and you've got the right amount.
I know a lot of people say you got to use like bottled water or something like that instead of tap water, but I've never noticed a difference.
No.
We used to do it with well water, and that was brown. Nobody ever knew it.
Yeah, you get out there on the old pump and the rust is coming out of there, and yeah. Man, I wonder how many people actually have done that in their life, right?
That's right.
There's a few of us left.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we had it on the farm, and then my grandparents had a cabin up north of Halliday there, and there was a few of them out there. I remember, patink, patink, and then you hear, here it comes, get ready. You know? That first shot was all dirty, and yeah, man, that's it had an artesian well. It's still out there on the farm. Actually, my uncle's place now. Yeah, they got there to just go right up there and drink out of that sucker like a deer going up and drinking out of it.
You know, and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, the whole episode is about a new style of butchering. You know how we do things now. You know, but I guess I can sit back and I can think most of the memories I have as a kid of my grandfather is when we're butchering. You know, that's those are the ones that stick out. You know, and now it's families don't get together like that anymore. But it's nice to hear there's so many people. You're making sausage. We're going to be doing sausage on the 24th. You know, Tristan's making sausage. You know, it's nice to hear there's people that are still. It's nothing else. It's just a community doing something that you get together. You knock a few beers back. It's just a good time. It's a community thing that nobody does ananymore.
Way back when our relatives were doing it, that was the social event of the year.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I know. You know, my oldest she's not into it like my youngest one, but she'll help package it up. But my youngest, she can't wait to get off of school. I usually take her out of school, but now she's in volleyball, and they said if you miss school, you can't play Saturday. So yeah, yeah. But she's jacked up about getting home, and she wants to get right in there and do everything. You know, she told me before, Dad, you got to teach me how to do all this so I know how. And I said, I'm gonna teach you how to smoke this time around too. So. Yeah, Gene says you can't overdo the garlic. Yeah, I love garlic, Gene, but the thing about it, you get too much garlic, man, them burps all day, they'll kill you with it.
I kind of agree with Gene. I like the garlic. You can't overdo pepper. People have always thought, pepper, you put too much. I don't know if you can overdo pepper.
Right. I
garlic
agree with
and salt, you can get it too much to where people just don't. I may not mind it, but other people eat it, and just like you said, you start belching garlic all day, and next thing you know.
So a lot of people say too is that once you freeze your sausage and put it in, that salt will get in and it'll be saltier if you take it out. So, I mean, have you ever noticed that to be true or not? I guess I'm kind of on it.
You do notice a little more flavor though from the patty you fried until you take one out of the freezer. Yeah. You do get a little bit of a difference, and it probably is the salt that oozes and sets however it needs to do it. But.
Yep. Gene says he's never been attacked by a vampire, so good point, Gene. Good point. Doug says, how many beers are too many for making sausage? Now, I was going to ask Brian. He said, get together and have a few beers. I was going to say, man, if I can keep it to a few, I'm doing real good.
I can tell you from experience when I was a kid, we had some sausage that would taste really good. And then we had some that was a little rough. So I think there is a fine line there.
That was after too many beers. Yeah. When I'm mixing, I make it a point that I give myself like a 2-beer limit until once it's mixed, I'm like, all right, now I can have a few more because it definitely affects your taste buds. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mama Joe said never enough pepper.
Yeah, that's how it was my grandpa. That was always, like he said, he was the tester, and he'd stick his finger in that raw meat, and it was always the same. It needs more pepper. More pepper.
Usually, I mean, I'm to the point now when I do add a little extra pepper to the premix I got, but usually I've made it so much that I look at it and just by looking, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely enough pepper in there now. You get your hands in there and look, and you're like, all right, looks good. But I mean, obviously you fry it up anyways, just because, even if you think it's good, you got to eat some. So
And that's all part of the rodeo.
yeah, it is. Tyson Schwab says, I'm a big sauerkraut guy also. My grandma Stefan had the best recipe. I can't even get close to how good hers was, and I have a recipe. That's 100% right, Tyson. My grandma Breck made it too, and I love that stuff. And my mom had some from her sister-in-law or something a few years back, and she gave me, I think, 3 quarts of it, and we were gonna. And my dad was here making it with us too, and I opened 2 of them, put it in there. We kind of looked at each other, and we're like, "Yeah, this one ain't going in there. We're just gonna eat this one." And that was the best. If somebody can make homemade sauerkraut, oh man, that stuff. It's actually good for you too.
And it's crazy because there again, it's just pressure and salt, right? There's nothing to it. I don't know if the flavor came out of the crock or the barrel that they used. If it was the rock they put on top of the board that kept the pressure on, I don't know what it was.
I think you're right. Do you guys believe in the theory that your smoker gets seasoned up over time?
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely in on that too.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that. Especially that old cold smoker. It's getting to where it's starting to fall apart. But all that
we said it's an outhouse, right? An old outhouse? Yeah.
It's pretty much what it looks like. But that's exactly it. But
I know
that wood is so black inside. That flavor's coming.
I believe that 100%. I know my Uncle Dean's his is the old outhouse, and my dad had one too, and now he just turned his in. And man, I'll tell you what, the sausage he gave me, he made it's I don't know if that thing even needs much seasoning because that stuff was delicious. So I made one out of a fridge, of an old garage fridge I had. And, I sold that to a buddy of mine at work who was far more handy than me, and he improved it a lot, which I was like, God, I'd have kept it if it was going to be that nice, And I was going to build one, and I ended up buying a bigger one from a guy who just went to straight electric. And I did do a few improvements on that, and it, I love that thing. And I think, I did a little work to it again this summer, but it should last me a couple more years before I got to tackle the whole thing about making. But I think I'm going to stick with the wood, and unless my neighbor, he's a heating air guy, and he's going to keep his eye open for one of these big, huge freezers,
The walk-ins.
Yeah, and then because he's got a few of them for some other guys, and they made them. Man, them things are just so handy, and you can put so much. I can fit. If I wanted to, I could put like 90 pounds in mine, but I think if I go 50 to 60 pounds, that smoke is way better in there than if I just shove it, right? Because I think that smoke is worked around.
It's got to be able to get all the way around it. So if it touches at all, you don't get smoke to that.
Yeah, I always call it zombie meat because then they're like on the inside, there's a and you flip it over and it's all white, and the outside's got that nice smoke.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. My Uncle Dean here, he says, Grandma Lindemann said, when you see the pepper on your hands when mixing it, you have enough. Yeah, that's exactly the theory I use right there.
Yep.
And Gene Cox says, I like an unsmoked cured sausage smothered in kraut. Good stuff. So how much, Art, what was do you think you sold more of, the uncured sausage, the unsmoked, or the smoked? What did people like better?
Smoked by far.
And I've always wondered this question too. So like I go now and I buy, let's just say I go buy meat from West Dakota or Butcher Block or whatever. To me, there is never, ever enough smoke on it, and it never seems to taste as good as homemade smoke. Did you at your place purposely not smoke it as much because more people would like it, or did you just say, this is how I like it and this is how the smoke I'm putting on, and if you don't like it, don't buy it?
It was considered a light smoke. That's all we went with. If you smoked it real heavy, the casings tend to get a little tougher.
Yep.
And that's where you get your complaints from.
Okay.
So
it would just
that.
snap like that when you.
Just a light smoke is adequate.
Because I think too, yes, I like a heavier smoke, but somebody who likes a heavier smoke like me will probably eat something with a light smoke, or somebody who likes a lighter smoke would not eat heavier smoked meat, probably, right? Am I right?
They'll fight the texture or whatever.
Yeah. So you did that, the collagen casings too, would they do that to you, Art? Would they get tough like that too, or did they not?
Collagen casings, we didn't notice that. But that's when we put that to use it primarily in Slim Jims, and that had to be cooked. And so as a Slim Jim, it's already chewy, so you don't notice if they're a little tougher or not.
So how long did you have to? How long and what temperature did you smoke the Slim Jims out then?
You had to get it up to the country style. We'd get it up to about 130 degrees.
Okay.
The others, the Slim Jims, they'd get to about 150. Summer sausage, we'd get about 150, 152, right in there to get the meat totally
Now,
done.
was that with the thermostat on the smoker set, or did you have the one that actually went in the meat?
No, we had a thermostatically controlled temperature
Okay.
control.
What was your smoker like? Was it a metal one or wood, or did you have like I know some I've seen like semi trailers people would seal up and.
At the shop, of course, we had a big one. That was
How many?
I could put in 500 pounds of country style easily into that, or 500 pounds,
That's
and
crazy.
get it done.
But it was the same width as the racks. So
Yeah.
the racks were on wheels and they would roll right into the
Roll
Okay.
the rack,
So you
pull the
didn't
rack
have to
in.
handle it over and over and over trying to.
So when you do summer sausage, do you have to flip it, or do you just leave it flat, or how did you do that? Which way did you hang it?
Hang it, just hang it on the rack, and wheel the whole rack in. And we had regular hooks devised that we put on that kept them separated. That was the key, so they weren't touching.
Awesome. Yeah. That's I know my neighbor bent me a whole bunch of hangers for mine. It'd be
Yeah.
nice if I had that wheel in and out thing. That'd be
Oh yeah.
that'd be pretty handy. So Travis has got a question here for you. He said, "How long for the light smoke on CS sausage, and to what temp?"
Country style.
Country style. Yeah.
At the shop, we got it to about 130, 132. And ours went for about 2.5 hours.
Okay. So how much? Yeah, I guess you could, like your wood. I mean, how big of a? How did you do that in that? Anyways, in a big one like that, where would you put your wood? Was it air inducted, or did you have a big smoke pan in the middle?
There
or
was a
what?
separate burner box on the side. We'd fill that with the sawdust, and that had a burner generate the smoke into the smoker.
It was an awful lot like an oversized pellet grill, but it used those chips.
Yeah.
Because that was all. There was a fan in it too that would blow that smoke and keep your fire going.
Yep. Yeah, I know when I get mine going, hey Vance Bishop, hello from Vegas, boys. Hey Vance, how you doing?
He's at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's going to be running. I think Vance is going to be running the camera down there in the Super Bowl. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for checking in, Vance. That's awesome, man. But yeah, I always do when I get my smoke going. I usually get a bag of like the really fine cut applewood, and then I put the bigger chips on top to really get it. I don't even think the the temperature gauge on the outside of mine even works anymore. So I basically just kind of look at my chimney on there, and when the smoke starts rolling, how I know it. Yeah, and I'm like, that's good right there. We're gonna be, I got my little marks on my propane tank, and I'll turn it down, and 2 hours later we'll pull it out, and man, it's been working good for us. I'm real happy with it.
Yep.
It doesn't take much smoke.
Yeah.
And, we can smoke longer, like I said, when we do it at home because it's cold smoking. But there you're just putting smoke in. You're not cooking the meat, so.
So I know some guys have smoked some cheese, and they've been telling me about these smoke tubes. You guys ever heard of those things?
I've got one actually. I've used it on my pellet grill, where you put your pellets inside of it and then you light it up with a butane torch. Yeah, and it's basically just it'll sit there and smolder in that tube. And I haven't smoked any cheese, but I've actually loaded that up and thrown it in when I do my summer sausage, just to try to get a little more smoke in there. But that's what it's for, is for smoking cheese.
I mean, it works good though for smoking cheese. You tried it for that too?
I haven't smoked cheese myself, but that's what it's designed for.
Yeah,
so
I'm definitely going to try that.
Sold them. Yep.
I love that. I mean, yeah, and my neighbor gives me some, and he's a smoked cheese and salmon master. And boy, it doesn't last long when he gives us a.
I forget. We did smoke cheese one time. We smoked some. I think it was just Kobe Jack cheese, and we smoked some slices just to play around with it. And yeah, you really get a smoke flavor to that cheese really quick, and there's no heat to it, because Obviously, that doesn't go well with cheese, but
Yeah. Troy just bought like the cube stuff, right? Like you
Yep.
buy them little packs of and cut them open, and and then he just resealed them. And
Yep.
man, once that's open, it doesn't. I mean, it's over. The whole thing's getting
Yeah.
eaten pretty much. So, all right, we're gonna do one more commercial, guys, and we're gonna come back and we'll do a little chat, and we'll probably close it out here. It always seems good to keep it under. I like to keep it under an hour and a half, because it seems like once you get to about an hour and 15, people are like, "Yeah, I've had enough of you jokers." And start all right, we'll do a double out here, guys. A couple minutes, and we'll be right back here.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701, and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
and fishing.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
Right on. And if anybody's listening, don't think we knew what we were talking about here tonight. You know what you are?
Nasty person.
It kind of broke up on me. How about
Yeah,
you
it cut
guys?
out a little bit.
All right, we're going to try it again. If you don't think we know what we're talking about sausage, you know what you are?
Nasty person.
There we go. Oh, yeah. That's awesome, man. Hey, guys, it's been great talking to you tonight. This is real fun. I enjoyed the heck out of this. We had some good people watching tonight, good questions. For a Friday night, hey, like I said, people our age, what else are we going to do, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So anything else you guys want to add here? You got anything else you want to hit on before we close her out here?
If I could,
Yeah, go for it.
just give a bit of advice to all the sausage makers out there. Get your kids involved in learning how to do this. All the years I had the shop, the one single thing that kept coming up, these people came in, my folks used to do that, but I don't know how to do that anymore. I never paid attention.
Yep.
So get your kids involved to learn how to do this. It's a lifelong skill. It's something that will bring the family together. It's worth learning how to do it.
Yep. It's a lot of work, but if there's anything that truly is a labor of love, and in my opinion, it is getting together with your family and friends and
Exactly.
making sausage and doing it. It's fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And you make delicious food. And
Yep.
you can share it with your friends, and they love it. Like I said, people always usually give them some, then they're like, "Hey, would you make mine?" And you're like, no, you want to come and get some next year and, make yourself 20 pounds when we do it, go for it. But
all the guys that borrow land to hunt on, it's a pretty nice sediment if you take some sausage out to somebody you hunted on their property.
Yeah, that's 100%, whether they make their own or not. And I tell you what, our neighbor guy, we lost a deer this year, but we went over and his land wasn't posted, but we went and talked to him. And when we get done making it, we're just going to take him some over there and say, "Hey, man, we know your land wasn't posted, but we just appreciate you saying, go,
Yep.
get in there and have a look around." And, it's just a nice thing to do. It's being if they're nice to you, be nice to them, and
Right.
give them something good to eat. There's nothing better than filling somebody's stomach with some good food, whether it's a man or a woman, right? Quickest way to somebody's heart is through their mouth, isn't that their stomach?
It's worked for me.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. You guys got anything else to add? I'll do a little PR work for the boys here before we go. But every Wednesday night, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, Clay Vance and Mikey D are doing Guns in the 701. And usually I do my show Thursday night, but like I said, we tried it Friday night tonight. It worked real good. Maybe it's because you guys know a whole bunch of people, Brian, and that's why we had a good bunch of viewers. But
might have had something to do with it, but I think you're doing okay.
all right, thank you. But yeah, and hey, if you're listening and nobody's seen it live, feel free to share it with them. And like I said, check back tomorrow. Clay should have everything transferred over and uploaded in podcast form so you can listen to it. But it's better just to get in here and look at us. I mean, we're all three pretty easy on the eyes, so and of course every Friday, Clay and Mike are on with Todd Mitchell, KFYR 550 AM, 99.7 FM, and iHeart. For about 45 minutes, 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain. I filled in this morning for Mike, and I was on with Clay. Had a pretty good show. Go ahead and check that out if you want. And next show I got is not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. That's going to be at 7 p.m. again. I'm going to have on Wayne Muth and John Arman. We're going to be talking about 3 things you've learned over your life about hunting. I told them guys to get 3 things. I'm going to get 3. And who knows? That might be an hour and a half show. I'm going to try and keep it short. But when you get them guys talking about hunting and me, it can be a long one. But
That should be good.
Yeah, appreciate you. If you're first time listeners, check back in with us. Like all our. Hey, there you got a thumbs up on you.
See?
Yeah, like all our social media stuff. We got a website, www.gunsinthe701.com. Go ahead and bookmark that. Appreciate all that. And again, support our sponsors, because without them, this is a lot harder to do. And I don't even know if we do it really. I mean, we love to do it and get the information out. Shows like this are great for everybody to listen to. And it's fun doing this. I enjoyed this, guys. I really did.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to we're definitely going to do it in the future again. There's a lot more stuff we can hit on. Because I got all kinds of questions about cutting up meat and everything. So just tried to make it about sausage making tonight. So all right, everybody. Brian, you guys just hang on here. Once I end the stream, we'll BS a little bit afterwards here. But thanks again, everybody. JD, Guns in the 701, Art and Brian.
Thanks,
701
everyone.
Nation. Thank you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.